Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Check Me. I want to talk about something a little bit different today. I want to talk about TikTok and why we're seeing the U.S. potentially banning TikTok here, much like China has done with Facebook and other social media app platforms and apps. So, if you know, in China, the main social media platform in China is WeChat. And the only way you can get onto WeChat is to be from China, live in China, and or get invited by somebody who is on the app. So that's WeChat. So I'm not sure if you guys heard that. But essentially, what we're looking at is the main problem is the potential breach of data and influence from the China Communist Party. So TikTok CEO has stated that, hey, look, they're based in Singapore and Los Angeles, right? So essentially, all the data that's being used in the U.S., that we use potentially in the U.S., we talk about in the U.S., they put on TikTok, all that data is being stored on servers, essentially in Texas, because it's an Oracle-based platform, or Oracle's headquarters in Texas. So we have large, and then throughout Northern Virginia, throughout everywhere, all the information that's in the U.S. put on TikTok is stored on U.S. servers. Now, understand that TikTok is owned by ByteDance, which is a China-owned company. Now, the TikTok CEO says that ByteDance has no influence or anything like that over them, but essentially TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, whereas they will have access to personal data or information. There was a leak that came out a couple of years ago about audio tapes that talked about how the data from the U.S. is openly being shared, essentially because Chinese engineers do have access to that data in the U.S. And even though they have to go through an extraneous protocol, it's the idea of a potential leak or potential breach or information or misinformation being posted on the website where China can influence the algorithm. Countries that have banned Facebook are like Russia, North Korea, Iran, China. These countries typically communist rulers where they dictate the narrative they want the people to understand. So why it's important that we do look into this, and why I personally feel it's a concern. I don't have TikTok. I never got TikTok. Not that my information is highly wanted, but if there was a massive data breach, if there was something that could happen, it could fall into the hands of China to influence. Now, do I think that China always has some type of ill will? No, I don't. But at the same time, what we've seen over the past couple of years with the hot air balloons, the security breaches, we don't know the intentions of China, and it hasn't always been in a fair engagement. So why TikTok is essentially getting banned is because the potential breach of data. And essentially, China could say, hey, ByteDance, we want all information. And they can take the information. Now, the CEO of TikTok says that there has to be some type of protocol that where China can't just take the information, because it's U.S. information. There's U.S. regulators, there's U.S. Officials that are on a board that allow that access to go freely. So the reason why TikTok is in this situation where they're potentially getting banned in the U.S. is for the potential breach of data, nothing else. And we've seen contentions between the U.S. and China evolve over the years, even though the two countries rely heavily on each other, especially when it comes to trade, especially when it comes to the stock market, all this other entity finance. America is so closely tied to China when it comes to how the world operates. I think we're far from something that is like a war, but I do think that this tension growing to the point where Facebook has been banned in China for years, Instagram years. So it's not like this is something new. It's just pretty much America taking a stab back at it as, hey, look, you guys don't want our platforms in there over fear of what we collect when it comes to data. We're going to do the same exact thing. So I think TikTok may be something that we do look at. I do think it is something we should look at, just for the fact of a potential breach. when it comes to banning the social media platforms. So that's the only reason. The only reason that TikTok's being banned is for a potential data breach that could affect most, if not a bunch of Americans when it comes to financial records, personal records, security information, and also the algorithm that may influence Americans to do X, Y, Z. So I think I just want to provide some clarity around that because I think a lot of people get misinformation. If you simple Wikipedia, spend 10, 15 minutes looking at Wikipedia, taking some articles, watching some videos of what the CEO actually said, and doing some research, you'll actually see. Even though the data is stored on American soil, Chinese engineers actually have access to TikTok. So that's the big reason why they're saying, hey, should we ban the app, much like Facebook is banned in China.